Welcome to the Holy Yogi, where we help you find the guru inside of you. Hello, beautiful. Hello, handsome. How you doing today? It's beautiful. Spiritual Sunday. Happy Spiritual Sunday to you. And it also is the last day of How to Find Your Soulmate in 2019, secret number 7. When it's 7, it's coming from heaven. 7, the number 7 has so many spiritual qualities about it. And we know we began on day 1, we're going to end on day 7. But remember, an ending is only an opportunity for what? A new beginning. So get excited, because now we're going to get the last secret, and now we're going to have the rest of our life to put these wonderful, secrets into motion, to focus on finding, or if we do have our soulmate, let's reinvigorate that relationship and take it to the next level. Because when you have a soulmate relationship, it can't get any better than that. When you allow the universe, when you allow God, when you allow the spiritual force to be at the center of that relationship, it is built to create miracles and also magic in your love life. That's the type of love that we're all looking for. Beast romantic love pushes it to the curb. Matter of fact, it is more romantic love, okay? When you got God marinating around it. So today on day 7, what we're going to do is discuss with you how I manifested my soulmates. Not 1, not 2, even more than that, because a lot of people think that there's just one person out there just for you, and that is not the truth. The beautiful thing about it, so get very excited, is that there are many soulmates for you out there in the universe, and we can't wait to introduce each and every single one of them to you. So get awesomely excited about that. So today 7, this is what this is all about. On day 7, what we're going to do is take all of those suggestions that I shared with you, and we're going to really seal the deal, because on day 7, it is really truly all about God's love, God's unconditional love. We've been talking about love, but like I mentioned to you before, and it's got to be ordained. That relationship, you know, on day 7, or when you get that vibe from God, that is truly for you. It is the message. You gotta wait for the message from God, Goddess voice. I know we've been taught to believe that it is a male. Well, we know that that's not true. God doesn't have a female or male expression. And if you're a woman, if you have to see God, see him as her as a goddess. And if you're a man, then see him as a god. That is fine. But I don't want us to get caught up into that, because we miss the blessing in the lesson. Because the force is so feminine. It's so much, if you think about it, it's very feminine, because females are naturally ordained to be giving and compassionate and loving and beautiful and fabulous and magical and creators, because we create life. It comes through us, right? Okay? So we have a greater affinity, a greater connection, a closer connection, quicker connection to that divine force, okay? Not that it's a bigger seed in us than it is in our male counterparts. So I want women to really grasp onto that. Anyway, so back to the issue at hand. The final 7th secret is that it has to be ordained by God. They started calling it about chemistry, or they call it like a divine connection. When that feeling comes over you, it's such a phenomenal feeling. It really is truly hard to describe. But the thing about it is, the beautiful thing about it is, when you know, God will let you know. And when you know, and that's when you know it's right. Okay? Because when it's God's voice, when it's God's, intervention, when it's divine intervention coming in, you know that it is right. So let's bring it all together, okay? So the key thing about it is by sharing with you a story, okay? Now, I'll share with you everything that I mentioned to you to do from day one all the way to now. I incorporated. Now, the key thing about, I'll share with you this one story about, how how I manifested, my opportunity to meet my love interest. Now, I'm sharing this story with you. Matter of fact, both of them did not pan out, okay? So stay with me, because I really want you to get this. It did not pan out into my soulmate relationship because once again, I was putting my power into play with it, but the important thing about it is this is how you set yourself up for massive success, because a lot of people did put it into play and it worked out for them. I think about Arthur Ashe and his wife when they met years ago. But stay with me on this one, because it is truly like the mechanisms of how you put the law of attraction, you put, your things into action as you would like them to happen. So first and foremost, I focused on, getting my, love act together, and really focused on learning how to love myself. So, getting back to loving myself, and I started eating right, okay? I started, getting up on time. I found my purpose as far as my business career endeavors were concerned. My goal was to go out there and help moms and dads fire the boss and hire the kids and be able to work from home and build a real estate empire and invest in the stock market and the like, so their money's working for them and they can spend all their time and energy in loving and enjoying and bonding with their family. So I found my purpose in life, enjoyed doing that. Obviously, in a vegan, raw food diet, I'm exercising, I'm, lifting weights, I am doing yoga, I'm meditating, I'm praying, I'm having a really close bonding relationship with God. And what I did was I have a spiritual altar. And that's another thing, your peace place, your spiritual altar. If you don't eat, I had, in my previous, home, which is 4,800 square feet, I actually had a room dedicated. When I walked into that room, it was completely decorated with my Native American, my East Indian, my spiritual, I had Buddha there, I had Allah, I had Jehovah, I had Yahweh, I had my Kemetic, my At, pose, and, Aset and Heru and Hetepu, and I had my hieroglyphics, pyramids and wording on my walls and everything. I mean, I had this place spiritually decked out, And there were pictures and books and tapes and videos, and also I had my wonderful bowl, my harvest bowl of sacrificing, fruits and vegetables and giving it up to the gods and goddesses and the like. And on that altar was also, candles and, I can see the candle behind me. It was symbolic, like as you can see, I had the Ankh earrings on, jewelry and things of that nature. And we're going to share that with you in future, videos, the importance of having your spiritual armor on. Having spiritual, tokens and tools and totems around you to constantly evoke the essence of the divine gods and goddesses into your life in order to bring and manifest the things that you like. So anyway, I have my altar all set up, my crystals, everything going, my books, and a picture of the gentleman. Matter of fact, he was a famous celebrity star and the like, that had the characteristics and personality that I really appreciated and enjoyed, and that was the type of mate that I wanted. Now, keep in mind, though you have that information, there is the characteristics of that possible mate that you want to bring into your life. So I put a picture of him at the altar, I prayed and meditated on it, but more importantly, at the end of it, I mentioned this in the past, videos, watch it, let divine will be done. The final analysis, the final decision making, it's God's. Period. I want you to really fully get that and understand at the very beginning. because, you have to balance, being in the world but not of the world. You got to have one foot in and one foot out. You got to use your intelligence as well as your intuition. You got to use your head as well as your heart. And when you work them in balance, you're able to fully, make the proper decision for yourself and make a decipher on whether or not it truly is divinely ordained for you, and you're not getting in the way of God's, blessings for you. We already know I did that past, and I knew, and I learned a blessing and a lesson as far as that is concerned. So, doing all the right things, chanting, breathing, meditating, affirming, affirmation, visualizing. Like I said, I got my vision board going, etc. Everything is in alignment. Now, keep in mind, I let God, handle the final outcome. Now, this Hollywood celebrity and star, etc. Now, keep in proper perspective. I go to Chicago, and I am doing a book signing for my books, Dynamic Diva Dolls for women who aren't afraid to become millionaires, and also for Wealth Chance. And I'm at the Chicago radio show. Matter of fact, who had interviewed me was Jesse Jackson's daughter. Oh dear, I forget her name. If you understand me, I am an absent-minded professor. Aquarius, we're airheads, okay? So my memory's not that great, forgive me. But anyway, she interviewed me for her show, and the topic of the show was helping empower people to help build, prosperity and abundance in their lives and become rich, My story at the time was going from being a homeless mom with just $26 in my checking account to a millionaire in 18 months. So, everybody wanted to get the spiritual vibe and the law of attraction, attract more money and abundance into their lifestyle. So I was going around the country and doing book signings, etc. to help people do that. So anyway, I'm there to take care of that. Lo and behold, but once again, divine connection, divine intervention, because once again, I was calling that into my life, come finding out that the gentleman whom I wanted to meet, the star celebrity on national TV, I think his show was on ABC or CBS or whatever, was right there in the next room promoting his book on relationships and how to achieve having a successful relationship into your life. It's working. I manifested the divine appointment. Lo and behold, as I was leaving, he was coming out once again from doing my show, from doing his show. We met, we shook hands. And when we shook hands and when we congratulated each other for each other's success, there was no connection. I didn't hear God saying that he was the one. And it was okay. And I was so excited. But what was so phenomenal, where I had one in, and it was so fantastic, is that through my prayers, through my meditation, through my visualization, from putting that divine energy and positive energy out there, I met, quote unquote, my soulmate, okay? Well, I thought I met my soulmate. It was a good false start. It was, the universe was saying to me, you're doing all the right things, but no, he is not the one for you. And that is fantastic. And I did it again in another instance. And this gentleman, he was an NBA, celebrity basketball player, etc. But keep in proper perspective. I want you to fully understand this. Because of our circle of influence, because of, they always say that, what is it called? 3 degrees or 6 degrees of separation, between, your connection to the great force. And sometimes it's only 3 degrees. And I believe, particularly in the African-American community, it's 3 degrees of separation. So anyway, so like I said, I put all that positive energy out there. But the main thing is, you might say, okay, yeah, Elon, he was a TV star. He was an entertainer. The other gentleman was a basketball celebrity, entertainer, basketball and sports, etc. But the beautiful thing about it was that I appreciated the qualities that they emulated about what they were truly all about from the heart. very compassionate, very giving back with inside their communities, etc. And they were doing some really purpose-filled life forces, meaning that one was very much involved with helping young kids get into a charter school system, etc. And just was about the community and helping empower and uplift them and taking it to the next level. They were far beyond, and they knew that they were far beyond what they were doing as far as, their art. They knew that it was a vehicle and a vessel to draw attention to their divine work and purpose that God had put them on earth to do. So that's what I was admiring. That's what I wanted to marinate with, because I was about the same thing too. My purpose was to help the world, establish greater abundance and greater health into their lifestyle. And they had their purpose in life and what they wanted to do. And they were financially secure, and they were all the things that I was. So you attract to what you are. Now, the beautiful thing about it is, and this is a good thing, okay, I want you to get excited. One of the things that, though it wasn't, and this is what I want a lot of you to do, because when you do this work, you're going to meet, you're going to have an idea, and you're going to meet that person that you think is absolutely right for you, etc. And you're going to put everything in motion, etc. But what do you do when God, the universe tells you, and like I said, I met the basketball superstar too, and we shook hands and conversed, and once again, I'm like, nope, it's not there. God didn't say anything to me. I didn't feel anything. I didn't feel the sparks and the lights and the stars and the universe and the poof and all those aha moments. Nothing happened, And the thing about it was, I was at peace with it, I was at peace with it. And keep in mind, another thing that I realized, it was 365 days. It was like a full year and cycle of meditating and praying on it and putting that positive energy around it, that it came into fruition. A lot of people are like, okay, after 7 days and I'm doing this with you on day 8, it should pop up safe and sound and secure and everything's going to kick in. No, the moral of the story is you got to consistently, daily do the work. And that's in anything you want to manifest into your life. You want to manifest more money. Even when I manifested the $1 million into my life, the key thing about it is my goal was to do it in 12 months. The universe said 18 months. Okay, 6 months later, am I upset with the universe decision-making process? That's why you got to be flexible. That's why you got to be open. And that's why you got to be gracious with, fully and humble, with fully allowing God to take over the situation. You put things in motion. You set a barometer. You set a game plan of action into place. And then you remain open and flexible to God's plan for you. Okay, that keeps it completely holy. That keeps it completely in sync. Okay, so the key thing about it was when, it did not happen, like most people get dejected, think they did something wrong, God doesn't love them, yada, yada, yada. Me, no. I knew that if God said no to this relationship, it was for a very good reason. Okay, so get excited. So hindsight 2020. Later on in life, when these gentlemen, married their mate, and not to say that it was their soulmate, but keep in mind, married their mate, etc. in relationship. A couple of things that I found out why it wasn't a love connection. Number one of them, even though they were African American, actually both of them, now I think about it, their divine soulmate were Asian women. That was their liking. That was their preference. That was their incarnation to want to be with Asian women, though they were African American men. So that was what their, goals and dreams and aspirations are. That was one of the things that was really fascinating. So nope, I didn't fit their love, barometer or their path or their plan. Okay, so that's cool. And then another thing about one of them was also the fact that, unfortunately, that was a major good roadblock, and that was the fact that, unfortunately, one of them was a pedophile. So you have to understand that the universe, was very good with trying to circumvent and keeping me in the light. That's why it's so important that you stay in the light, because you would draw to yourself who and what You are. Okay? So this was, I was majorly saved, hindsight 2020, for a major catastrophe, because that one soul, remember, we put our light and love out there with what we want, but God's got a better plan, and God knows all of the hidden, because people put a persona and an image of themselves out to the world, but behind closed doors, there's a skeleton in those closets that God loves us enough to know that they don't want us to get involved with that type of energy. So that's a good sign and signal. Okay. Another matter of fact, a couple of celebrities that I think about it, that, I had a divine, connection with. Later on, come finding that they had sexual perversities inside their relationships and things of that nature. Another one was a philanderer, was a serial, a cheater in a nutshell. So, all of these later on, hindsight 2020, when I asked the universe, why, but I patiently waited. And it was really ironic. One of the ironic thing about it is one of the superstar, actually both of them, I'm just really realizing some, serendipitous things, have happened. I had taken my children to the, I'm not going to mention your name. Another one was a rapper that, I connected with, some 20 years ago, etc. But come finding out that that gentleman also had a preference for, transsexual type of relationships and the like, and was even married, etc. So, I'm just saying that that's the reality and that's the truth. And I'm like, thank you, God, for saving me from that. Thank you, God, for saving me that type of experience. And that's what you really get excited about, because what you think is for you, if it's not ordained by God, if you don't get that message from the higher source, it's not yours. And don't get upset, don't get excited. Just thank God. Trust me, from experience, just thank God that you got through that. Okay? So I share this with you because of the fact that you're going to get some fast starts. I mean, you're going to get some, not fast starts, what do they call them? False starts in this world of finding your soulmate. And more importantly, keyword is, I put finding your soulmate because it's a good keyword, okay, to get people to watch. But the reality of the situation is, let your soulmate find you. Now, the beautiful thing is you can put yourself in that type of opportunity, but once again, get out of the way. Let them, make the divine connection and see if it's right for you, etc. And you'll both know, if it is right for the both of you. Okay? So fully grasp that important reality is that God will give you the signals, will whisper in your ear, tap you on the shoulder, or knock you upside your head, to get the blessing in the lesson. You will know. Don't worry about it. And if you think it's it, and you're not getting the signals, you're not getting the stars and the lights and the blues and the gushy feeling inside of you, letting you know, then it is okay. Get excited. You may have saved you from a lot of heartache, pains, and divorces, and it's just love sickness and broken hearts. Oh my God, been there, done that. Wore that t-shirt, and it is not a pretty picture. But the beautiful thing about it is, when you're on your mission to find your soulmate, you will be provided with all the information and everything you need to do that. So the last one, just maybe about a couple of years, about 3-4 years ago, whatever the case may be, once again, putting all the energy and vibe out there, I had done, I felt really good, thought maybe, this was the one, etc. And then I did the pendulum. Okay. I had my wonderful rose quartz, pink, that's symbolic of the heart chakra, okay, which is the fourth chakra of the body. and made that connection, and I did the pendulum, and I asked the pendulum if he is the one, and it said no. And I was like, no, I'm feeling something. I've got that connection. But keep in mind, when you're feeling something and you got that, chemistry, chemistry hits often a lot. Like I said, there's a lot of chemistry that's going around, and I said no. And then in addition to that, but keep in mind, even though sometimes you get those type of things, the good thing about it is that you have the power. And so what I did was I put prayers, light, and love on it. And, I got it. Nope, he wasn't the one. So sometimes it's mean denial does not mean no. It just means not right now. So in a nutshell, I did all the spiritual work again, focusing on my divine mate. And about 6 months later, we, made a connection once again, etc. And, we tried, etc. And, nope, that's not it. Sometimes you have to go out, come back in, etc. And then another 6 months later, 3 strikes, three is a magic number. We always said the Mother, the Father, and the Holy Spirit, okay? All right, those threes, And so again, and that was pretty much the final three, the final one, where nope. There were so many signs and red flags that were coming up. And once again, looking at it when the bottom line happened out, when I found out, and when I found out, I was more happier by myself than in that relationship. And I felt divinely ordained to that peace. And when they start ruffling that peace, okay, and bringing, chaos and drama, then nope, that is not the one for me. Peacefully, gradually, move on and send them light, send them love, and wish them the best that life has got to offer them. But, the foundation. And that's why you might say, well, Elon, he's, gosh, it doesn't have to be that way. And yes, and what I mean by that was not necessarily, but get excited because, instead of you, like, I wasted 10 years of my life and had a horrible, painful divorce. I mean, and when kids are involved, oh my God, that was devastating for my children. And so that's why I'm so glad about it. When you're getting it, when you're getting, excuse me, but this is reality, I don't edit these, I let divine spirit, speak to me as I'm doing each and every one of these videos. So we're not going to cut that out at all, because I want you guys to understand that when I'm speaking to you, God is speaking through me to you, because that's when it's authentic and real. So there's nothing edited out about that. So get excited, because it's really raw. Because I get inspiration even like right now, messages to really convey out to you, because I always ask every time I'm speaking to you, let divine will be done. God, speak to me through you, the message to help people find their soulmate, and to give you the best advice possible when it's real and authentic and purely divine. When it's coming out like that, it's good because it's God. Okay. So anyway, so in a nutshell, what is so important for you to truly grasp is that it's okay, and that, focus on the little blessings, in the lesson, that instead of it taking you 10 years to figure out that that's not your soulmate, it gets down to 5, then it gets down to 4, then it gets down to 2, then it gets down to 1, then it gets down to, man, in 30 seconds, that that's not it, and you can get through all of the drama kings and queens that are out there and meet your wonderful soulmate. And it can be something that will last a lifetime. So I'm really excited about that. I'm really excited about that for you, and I can't wait for you to go through that particular process. And hey, you may hit a home run, because it could happen instantaneously. Poof! Wait, after you do this, tomorrow you meet him and you'll know. Okay, because once again, the final analysis is that God will speak to you. Like Devon Franklin, he got up, no, I forgot the Empire guy, Troy Byer or whatever, and he just woke up in the middle of the night, and God said, XYZ is your wife, that's it. And what happened to make it good? God, told her that when she was down on her knees, praying, crying, and begging God, please let me get it right this time. God told her that, hey, Devon Franklin is your husband. So, and I've heard numerous stories of average, everyday Jane and Joes, and their stories were, God spoke with them, and, and I heard about Torrey and his wife, Sarah Jakes, how, when they were connecting and becoming divine and things of that nature, and serendipitous instances happened, and they met up and they made a connection, etc. And once again, God spoke to him at 5 o'clock in the morning. He called him and said, did you get it? And she got that same instances, and I know this is something special. I know, but both of them all said, even though they got the divine connection, and keep this in mind, even though every single one of them got the divine connection, they still continue to do the work in the physical. Devon Franklin and his wife, Making Good, they went and got pre-engagement, not even premarital, pre-engagement, before they even got engaged, counseling. They meditated and fasted and prayed for 40 days and 40 nights. Okay? All right? So you got to understand, you got to do a combination of both, using your spirit, your head, and your heart. Make sure that you're getting counseling. Sarah Jakes and Torrey, he's a pastor, she's a pastor. They went and got counseling before they officially made the I do's to make sure that they got the greatest guidance and things of that nature. Even in arranged marriages, those are very spiritual in essence, because you're bringing in people who are taking out the fluff and the rose-colored glasses and the how we get giddy and we get so caught up into the heart that we miss the aspects of the head, using our head. Okay, we get caught up in the sex and we miss the aspect of that. That's why Devon and Megan did it differently, because of the fact that the sexual power, that is truly a beautiful gift from God, but it's used out of context. When you're having sex before you're really in love and with divinely ordained, it's misinterpreted love because it feels so good and it is so powerful, wonderful medicine for the body, mind, and the spirit, that it gets misconstrued. Especially when you're doing it not underneath the covenant of God, and you're having sex and you're not making love. Two different experiences, and we get it misconstrued, and we caught up in the sex is great. So when the sex is great, then he definitely loves me, etc. And she definitely loves me, etc. And that has nothing at all to do with love. But I tell you right now, when you're in love, it just makes it so much more beautiful. It's so much more, just so much more enjoyable. Okay, so that's the thing that you got to fully understand, that make sure that he's doing the work, make sure that you're doing the work, make sure that everything is lined up, but more importantly, that you've gotten the divine approval. God has told you yes, 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 yes. And in so many ways, before you say, I do, I do, I do, I do. Okay, so I hope you fully got it. The last secret is God's got the final say. Look for God's signal, for God's blessings, for God's words, for God's inspiration, for God's intervention into that relationship. And when God, that's the seal of approval that is your soulmate. And once you get that, well, you have made it. Now, this is the key thing. Though you have found your soulmate, it doesn't mean that the work is over. Okay, that's another thing, because you can ruin a relationship with your soulmate by not doing the work. Every day when you get up in the morning, you do all the spiritual work to keep your spiritual armor on. Every day, I am praying, I am meditating, I am visualizing, I am doing my affirmations to keep God's holy essence and spirit inside of me. So it is a daily effort, and work has to be in order. Remember, we gotta follow all the principles, all the Ma'at principles of truth, justice, righteousness, order, balance, reciprocity, and harmony. You know, she is the deity, the goddess of the social order. You follow Ma'at principles throughout your whole entire marriage, it will not fail. You gotta keep your heart light as a feather so you can make the peaceful transition and get all your good karma reality into the next lifetime, so you float like an angel. You know, angels fly because there's no weight, there's no heaviness of anger, resentment, or fear and hate and drama that's holding them down. That's why they can fly, and that's because of light. You know, they're angelic because they're in love, and they're in peace and happiness and joy and compassion and mercy and grace and harmony and humility and just beautiful bliss. When you think about bliss, you just feel so good inside. So all that's going to come to you, all that you have to be about, and all the work truly begins when you find your soulmate, and you both, keep in mind, everybody's got to do the work. And so if he's of that 600, 700 vibrational frequency of love, and you're at that 600, 700 vibration frequency of love, woohoo, that's 1,400. I mean, y'all come together, that aura is surrounding you, that nothing outside of you can do you no harm. No one can break you up. You know, no one can dismantle your relationship, and no situation can, you know, you broke, illness and sickness. When you have that vibrational frequency, you're not getting sick, okay? When you have a vibrational frequency, you're in abundance, you know? You have money flowing to you effortlessly and easily and things of that nature. You're having good relationships with other people in your family and things of that nature. Not that it doesn't come up, but once again, it's not cheap drama, you know? It's lasting a second, lasting a minute, because you have your spiritual tools in place and help to transcend it and get to that place of light and love on a consistent and daily basis. And that's why, you know, I'm going to seal the deal with the wonderful Hawaiian prayer. The Hawaiian prayer is absolutely beautiful because every millisecond of every single day, this is what's happening. Please forgive me. Thank you. I'm sorry. I love you. Please forgive me. Thank you. I'm sorry. I love you. Every millisecond of every day, going around in a circular formation, consistent basis. And the other one we also share with you, love, acceptance, and forgiveness, circular motions, going around every millisecond of every single day. So do the work. In a relationship, not in a relationship, keep doing the work daily. Keep fortifying, keep letting it grow. It's just like a seed or a plant. You know, as you develop that relationship with your soulmate, you gotta water that seed. You gotta, you know, have sunlight on it every single day. Those clouds above, keep in mind, this stuff is gonna go. See those clouds? They're interfering and thing with the sun, but still the rays are transcending through the clouds, though it may be at a minor level, okay? It's not as pungent and strong, but it's still there. And it's still helping that plant to grow. And it's going to help your relationship to grow. So make sure you have good, healthy soil around it. Make sure that you have healthy, you know, water, you know, putting on top of it. You know, healthy air, you know, feeding it, you know, and good rays of sunshine upon it. And it'll come up and it'll be a tree, and it'll be a tree like that. What's that tree that's like it lives to be? Oh, I can't remember that tree. It begins with an S. I can't remember it. Sequoia tree. Sycamore or sycamore tree. Okay, go look it up. But anyway, that tree is like 1,000 years old. 1,000 years old, that tree. Or the baobab tree, the tree of life in Africa. You know, and what's beautiful about the tree of life, the roots are upside down, okay? You know, to bring it into your life. And if you notice, it lives a lifetime and a long time because it is committed to the authentic nature of what life and living is all about. So this was a little bit longer. Okay, the average has been 20 minutes, but it serves it because it's the 7th day. So go back and start all over again. Go back to secret 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and finally 7. Master this, hone it, be a part of your lifetime, and I'll see you on the other side with a phenomenal soulmate. Do me a favor when it happens, email me, send me pictures, postcards, whatever the case may be, because we're going to be doing this for a whole lifetime, right? And guess what? You know what? Yeah, it's a possibility. Are you okay with if, you don't find your soulmate in this lifetime? I am. My philosophy is really simple. You can't, when you've had the best, you can't settle for anything less. That's the same thing with, when I discovered my millions and things of that nature. It takes time because you know why? I am happiest, when I am in what's the best for me, what God has ordained for me. It's such a wonderful life to live. So I'm willing to wait, I'm willing to wait. If not in this lifetime, then the next lifetime. Because that's what's really beautiful, that's what's really awesome, and that's what we all can experience. So get excited about that. I will see you guys on the next side, 1 through 7. Check it out. I love you all. I've enjoyed this whole entire experience. And don't forget, wait until God gives you the go-ahead for the final decision-making process in this lifetime or the next lifetime. And I promise you, it'll be worth the wait. Bye-bye for now. Love you all. Peace. Hetapu. Namaste.